and I'd like your opinion on the legalization of drugs, the legalization of marijuana more and more. Obviously, from a medical standpoint, it's cleared many hurdles. From a recreational standpoint, it's cleared not as many, but it's getting close too. There is some talk of Joe Biden possibly federally easing up on it, but possibly not. He just, in a timely situation, he actually just fired a bunch of staff in a very kind of a move that caught everyone by surprise. This is a Democrat president, but he fired a whole bunch of staff members that either admitted to or tested positive for marijuana. So that was very interesting to people that thought, hey, this federal legalization was on the way. So my question to you is a two-part. How do you feel about legalization and what it does to your industry? Does it drive the industry? Does it have no effect? And then I want some of your personal opinion on not just the marijuana situation, which is the largest, but now states are thinking about, and some are legalizing mushrooms, psilocybin. So some of your, what do you call them?
Psychedelics.
Psychedelics, thank you so much. Yeah. Your psychedelics are getting embraced in a possible legal manner. Ketamine is being used by police to actually calm people down in some sort of scenarios I'm seeing now. And after you talk about that, I want your opinion on, and you might answer this based on what I've asked you, do you believe in full legalization? Will that solve problems? There are libertarians that believe my body, my right to choose, like we do it with abortion for women. Should we as human beings have a right in that European mold? They legalized hard drugs now in Oregon, I believe, and they're playing that thought of it'll reduce crime, it takes the black market away. So I'd like your whole opinion on that whole umbrella, maybe starting with marijuana, sure, and then branching out into full-on drugs.
I don't care about the legalization of marijuana. It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with addiction. People don't understand that. It's just it's a drug, like any other drug. It's also one of the most difficult drugs to classify. It's really a hallucinogenic. At the end of the day, it impacts. It could impact. You line up 30 people, it impacts them differently. From a business mind, legalizing it, I hope people make a ton of money off of it, and I hope it helps the economy. Legalizing it isn't gonna help the drug rehab industry, and it's not gonna hurt it, because an addict is an addict. They're addicted. They may end up being addicted to marijuana, and they may not. Alcohol is legal, and people are addicted to alcohol, I think, more than any other drug that's out there. So to me, I don't really care. It makes no difference to me whether it's legalized or not. People are going to do it anyway, and obviously the government and the state governments see a benefit of it financially, and so they're going to make the most out of it and profit the most out of it. As far as other drugs are concerned, the psychedelics and the mushrooms and some of the things that you mentioned, I think we have to be careful. The research on that is known to hurt people's brains. It's known to impact executive decision making. It's known to impact the frontal lobe, impulsivity. I think that I think we need to be very careful and regulate that. There are very, very bad people out there that will only use that drug to line their pockets. Treatment owners here in Florida and around the country will only use that to line their pockets. What I believe is, if you're going to go that route, then go that route. Be that treatment program. That's it. Tell the insurance companies and let the chips fall where they may. If that means that you have to go to a self-pay model and not use insurance companies, then so be it. Let me tell you something. If treatment centers went that route and insurance companies realized that these people are making a boatload of money, I guarantee you that they'll cover it on some level because they want to get paid. That's my strong feelings about that, because we're very careless now. With the simplicity of the dual diagnosis, the mental health versus the addict. There are treatment programs right now that admit people that don't have a drug problem. They just admit them to their substance abuse treatment program that have depression, and because they didn't have substance abuse benefits, they had mental health benefits. So you have a person who's depressed and anxious sitting in a substance abuse treatment center, not getting the help that they need, but people are making money off of it, and they're exploiting that person. That's wrong. I do believe there's a place for these types of illegal drugs, if you will, under the right circumstances. I'll give you a diabetic example. The Gia monster out in Arizona has an enzyme and a chemical that's in a drug for diabetics called Bidurium, and I forget the name of the enzyme. But as a result of that, it saves lives. It saves people's lives, and there's purely by itself, it's poisonous. And with the right combination and the right scientific approach, it's helping people with type 2 diabetes. So yes, bring it on, but let's do it under the right circumstances. I think it's a dangerous game right now, because here's the problem, and this really sums it up. There's no regulation of what rehab really is right now in the country. None. It's not regulated by the federal government, and every state is different. You could go open up a rehab right now. Right now. You could open up a rehab and call yourself an owner of a rehab center. I don't even know what rehab means. It could mean that you're dealing with schizophrenics. It could mean that you have only women who are pregnant and drug addicted. It could mean that you treat adolescents. All of those that I just rattled off are all rehabs. It's not defined, it's not regulated, and it attracts a lot of people that have money because they think they can make money off of it, and these people have no clinical experience. They have no business being in this industry whatsoever. None at all. In fact, it's criminal that they are in this industry. They need to go back from the rock they crawled out from underneath and go do whatever it is that they were doing, because they're hurting the industry. They're not helping it.
Taking advantage of a clientele.
I mean, one of the reasons that rehab has gotten more public, more public exposure is because of the amount of money that's pumped into it, and that money came from people that are wealthy, that see that they can make money off of this. So they think that they know because they have an MBA and they have a degree, and this is a very unique industry, and most people get it wrong. And there's a lot of terrible operators out there that think that they're still selling shoes when we are dealing with human beings. And there absolutely needs to be a regulation on it, or else it's going to implode. But here's the good news. The good news is that despite everything, despite the history, behavioral health, in essence, is in its infancy stages. It's really underdeveloped. And I think that what's going to happen is, I think that there is going to eventually be regulation. I think that the bigger treatment centers around the country that do a decent job are going to win the day. I think there'll be offshoots of those type of treatment centers. I think that states have to come together and unify some sort of treatment regulations. I think the federal government is going to have to chime in, and I think eventually it will be regulated, and it will get better. and I'm actually optimistic about the future of it because of that. There's a lot of smart people that are entering into the field of behavioral health from a clinical side that I value. They have a master's and they're licensed and they're good people and they actually want to help. So I'm encouraged by that. But we've got a long way to go, and it's going to be messy. It's going to be a political nightmare, and it is going to be messy for a lot of people.
Well, I appreciate your insight. This has been another round of questions. Our interview with Ben Brafman, somebody who's very skilled and knowledgeable and wise in the ways of clinical health and speaking from many different angles as an owner of a facility, an owner of a school, a counselor himself. So he has all the angles. We appreciate your time. We got some really good insight here, I feel like.
Thank you.
And we got some good questions out. And anybody that's thinking of getting into this field, what's the website that they can go to look into becoming a counselor of some sort?
Addiction Academy, addictionacademy.com. Go to benbrafman.com, and we'll take care of you.
All right, sounds good, Ben. I thank you for your time, and thank you all. I am Josh Weiss signing off, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
All right.